I know you may not want to hear this, but what if it's supposed to fall apart? What if the very thing that you're trying to put together, trying to fix, trying to bring back to life is supposed to be exactly where it's supposed to be, or worse? I know it's not comfortable, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but it could very well be the reason why it's not working out. You could be too involved, or it could be something that's over, a season that was and was great, but now it's complete. It could be that you are trying to make things happen the way that you picture them ending up, but God has a totally different plan. If that's the case, are you willing to let go long enough to see if letting it fall apart will actually put it all together? Sometimes we have to start from the bottom. We have to begin again. We have to have everything gone in order for us to realize what we actually rely on. Isaiah 64, 9, 10, and 11, they talk about this. And when I started reading this a while ago, I didn't really understand. But with time, all things begin to make sense, so here's what I got. In Isaiah 64, 9, it's talking about God's holy cities becoming a wilderness, Zion being a wilderness, and Jerusalem being desolate, which means like a desert. It doesn't make any type of sense. Why would God want his holy places to become such a thing? Sorry, that was verse 10 I was talking about. Verse 9 above it is talking about asking God to forgive them for their sins. Forgive them for the things that they did in their own way. They ask God not to be angry with them and not to hold their sins against them forever. And it sounds a lot like, I'll just talk about me. It sounds a lot like me when I've done something wrong or I've tried to fix things and it's just falling apart and I'm like, okay, God, forgive me for not even consulting you or asking you, and I'm praying for it to work out and it's not. Maybe you have some other plans. So that's where verse 10 comes and shakes things up, because it's like, why is God going to have his holy places deserted and a wilderness? And I can take one angle, but I'm going to stick on this one. And in verse 11, it talks about the temple being desecrated, the temple that their parents and their grandparents and those before them have used to worship God in. That also is desolate. It's a wilderness. It's actually been burnt up or burnt down with fire. And so why, again, would God allow a place where he was worshipped to be burnt to the ground? If the God that says he will never leave us or forsake us has allowed for something to burn down, then unless he's going to leave us or forsake us, forget about us, or leave us in our mess, then he must be about to change something, do something, or renew or revive something. I don't know about you, but when I heard that, or when I read that and I got the revelation, again, it still didn't make sense. So I had to pray, and I actually had to fast and sit with God so that he can show me that the things that were falling apart actually were things that I was trying to control and things that I was praying for God to have his way in, but then I was resisting the very path he was leading me on. He wanted me to let go, and I mean let go of everything. And once I did, I realized I didn't really trust God. I was not comfortable standing on water. I knew I was going to sink. I just knew it. But here I am, able to walk on water now. So, what's on the other side of letting go, trusting God, and just letting the things that are actually falling apart crumble? There's actually peace. There's actually freedom. And there's actually less weight, because the weight that I found out I was carrying wasn't even weight for me to carry at all. I'm not going to make it seem like it was easy, because it absolutely was not. But when God started to show me why things weren't fitting in the places they used to, why things were crumbling, why things just weren't working out, I had to look at myself and not the outside things that were falling apart and realize that, again, I didn't trust God. And not that I didn't trust him ever. It's just when you enter into different seasons, things may call for a different level of faith and trust in him. And that's what happened. So, why don't you think about the things that might not be working, might not be coming together, might not be growing, and ask God, Is this supposed to fall apart? There's a lot there, and I can't get into everything right now. But what I did learn is that when everything came tumbling down and it was a desert and there was nothing left to hold on to, what was left was God. And so, as He's beginning to build things now, it all rests on Him, not anyone else, not anything else, and not even myself. I am completely reliant on God. And that's where we're supposed to be in the first place. Because now nothing can be ripped from under me because it's in the hands of God. And if by chance it does start tumbling down again, I know God is shifting. I hope this blesses you, and I really hope that you go ask God why it might not be working out or why it might be tumbling down. Because He has an answer. Again, He's not leaving you, He's not forsaking you. He might just be starting something over and renewing something in you. I plead joy.